This week, a teenage boy is accused of stabbing his grandmother to death. Plus, a man is stabbed and robbed in broad daylight. And
women especially have to be really on their toes about where they are. 2 women are attacked with a bottle. Right now, Fox 5's Crime in the City. Here are the crimes across the 5 boroughs. We begin in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, where 4 young girls, ranging in ages from 8 to 16, were stabbed with a meat cleaver.
Good day's Haley Fixler live at Maimonides Medical Center in Borough Park, Brooklyn, where they are recovering this morning. Haley, good morning.
Good morning, Robert Tashani. Police called it a horrifying scene, and miraculously, all 4 girls are expected to be okay. And as you mentioned, they are still here at the hospital. And officials are crediting their survival to 2 brave children. One of them, one of the 11-year-old victims, she called 911 after she hid in a room, and another child ran to a neighbor's house for help. So here is what we know. 49-year-old Long Chin Chen is the man who police have identified as the suspect. Family members say he does have a history of mental illness. Officials say just after 10 o'clock yesterday morning in Bensonhurst, the 11-year-old girl called 911 and said that her uncle was stabbing her and her siblings. Now, the girl did not know the address of the house where they were, so the call center had to use location technology to find them at this house on 84th Street. Then an uninjured child opened the door to officers who reportedly heard screaming coming from inside. They had to break down the door. This is what officers found.
Once they entered, they encountered a man standing near the entrance holding a large meat cleaver covered in blood, and they could see blood on the floor and the walls of the home. The officers ordered the man to drop the weapon several times. He refused and advanced towards them. 2 officers discharged their firearms, firing 7 total rounds between them and striking the subject, ending the threat.
Police found 2 weapons on scene. The large cleaver Chin Chen was holding and another knife covered in blood in a different room. Now, the victims are 8, 11, 13, and 16 years old. They have serious slash and stab wounds, but again, they are expected to be okay. As for Chin Chen, he was in critical condition, now is in stable condition. Police tell us there is no history of any domestic violence related calls to the house. Neighbors are in complete shock.
I came out, I saw there was one kid was bloody, and then the other one's another bloody person was going into the ambulance.
We heard everyone come out, we heard all the police here, and yeah, it was a scary time.
We are still working to find out the exact relationship between Chin Chen and the victims. Police have not yet announced what charges he will be facing.
We now head to the Inwood section of Manhattan, where 2 people were stabbed outside of a nightclub. One of those victims has died.
Fox 5's Lisa Evers live in the scene for us. Lisa, what can you tell us as of right now?
Well, Bianca, we are here on West 202nd Street between 9th Avenue and 10th Avenue, a sprawling crime scene in effect right now. This is a nightclub district, so there's not too many people here on the streets, but it was a totally different picture late last night going into early this morning when the violence erupted that took the life of this 31-year-old man. Now, police are telling me that it all started right here at the Toboga nightclub with a phone call about 3:30 a.m., a 911 call saying that a man had been stabbed in his neck. Now, police arrived at the scene here, and you can see they have the NYPD crime scene unit is here. The detectives are working the scene right here. Police arrived here, they dealt with that, and then they went down the block to find out that there was much more. The street at that time was packed with people. Let's show you some of the video from early this morning. And then it was police were on the block. They were dealing with everything that was going on right here, and then by some means, which we still don't have the full story yet because this investigation is in the very early stages, they found a 31-year-old man, who had been stabbed in the shoulder. Now, when they investigated further, they realized he was very seriously wounded. He might have been there for a little while because there were a lot of people on the street. There was a bit of a brawl. The extent of that, we're still talking to investigators about to try to get a better handle on that. But that 31-year-old man was in very bad shape. He was rushed to Harlem Hospital, and police are telling us that he did not survive there. Now, residents in this area, you can see, Christian, can you show them right down the block there? That's 10th Avenue. Those are the Dykeman houses. It's a big NYCHA development. Just a short time ago, we spoke with a working mom there who was on her way to the job. She's only lived here a couple of years, and here's what she had to say.
No, this area is known just for like the bars, the bars, the clubs. Since I've been here for about 2 to 3 years, I haven't heard nothing really on this side. I park right here, so I was surprised coming here like, oh, can I get to my car?
You see the crime bar? Okay. Now, detectives are investigating what set off this whole incident, if it was a fight between two different groups, what was the cause of it. No indication that there was any robbery involved at this particular point, but again, it's very preliminary in their investigation. That 31-year-old man who unfortunately lost his life here has not been identified yet because the police have not formally been able to reach his family members to properly notify them. So we don't have his name yet. As for the other man, the 28-year-old who was initially stabbed and was the reason that police were brought to this location early this morning, he is in stable condition.
Down on the Lower East Side, the NYPD is hunting for a suspect accused of attempting to rape a woman inside a subway station.
Fox 5's Lisa Evers joins us live from the East Broadway station. Lisa, this is many riders on edge.
It totally has many riders, especially women riders, on edge, Stephen, Natasha. Now, this happened here about 2:30 this morning at the East Broadway F train station at Essex Street. It was a terrifying ordeal for the woman who managed to get away. Now, the NYPD is looking for this man in connection with the attempted sexual assault. Police say a 30-year-old woman was waiting on the northbound F train platform when the suspect approached her from behind. She moved away from him and went up a nearby escalator. Police say he grabbed her from behind, pulled her pants down, and tried to rape her right there on the escalator. The woman was able to get to her phone and started dialing 911, but then the suspect snatched the phone from her and from her hand. He just grabbed it right out of her hand and threw it over the side of the escalator. Police say he ran away. Here's what one rider told us.
I'm not feeling well every day on the train. I'm sometimes uncomfortable. And yeah, I'm scared sometimes. I don't take the train at night. The night I don't take the train at all.
So at night you won't take the train?
No.
Now, the NYPD tells us that it is actively looking for the suspect, who they say is about 5 feet 4 inches tall, about 120 pounds, and in his 20s or early 30s. If you recognize him or have any information, they'd like you to call 1-800-577-TIPS, and as always, you do not have to give your name.
Over in SOHO, a 46-year-old man is accused of attacking 2 women with a bottle.
We're here in SOHO. It's one of the nicest and most popular parts of the city. The last place you'd expect a crazed attacker to go after women in 2 separate incidents and assault them with a bottle. And we're learning exclusively now that this wasn't his first time targeting women in violent attacks. Crime scene tape cordoned off the chic and usually safe area at Grand and Worcester Streets in SOHO. Police tell us about 3 Monday afternoon, 46-year-old Muslim Brunson, who is homeless, smacked a 29-year-old woman in the back with a bottle. She was not injured and ran away.
I just watch my back. I'm very cautious all the time.
A short time later, police say Brunson attacked another woman who is 25 years old, slashing her so badly with a broken bottle, she was rushed to Bellevue Hospital. She's in critical condition. He was taken into custody by police. Later, detectives worked the neighborhood for additional video and evidence.
Unfortunately, I just feel like women especially have to be really on their toes about where they are and their surroundings and just, being very cautious.
My police sources tell me that Muslim Brunson is a recidivist who mainly goes after female victims. In October of 2023, my police sources tell me he shoved a 30-year-old woman into a moving train. She survived, barely. A year earlier, he was arrested for shoving a woman into a heavy metal subway platform pillar.
My friend recently also got attacked in the East Village by someone. It's
just a random
thing. Random. He was obviously mentally disturbed, homeless, had prior incidences and everything, so it's scary.
The NYPD tells us that Brunson was arrested on second-degree attempted murder, second-degree assault, and weapons possession charges. After all this, women here are asking us, what was he doing on the streets in the first place?
Staying in Manhattan, we head to Midtown, where a man was stabbed multiple times in the head and then robbed in broad daylight.
All right, let's get right out to Fox 5's Linda Schmidt. She is at the scene on 32nd and 5th with what we know right now. Linda.
Yeah, first of all, good evening to both of you. And it has happened yet again. And we're talking about broad daylight here, 12:30 in the afternoon. And this is a busy area where we are. This is 5th Avenue right here behind me. We're on 32nd Street. Literally thousands of people working in this area, coming and going all day long. Tourists here shopping. You've got the Korean mart up here where people can come and they can buy food and little tchotchkes and things like that, taking up the whole block. And it happened right in this area. Okay, now police are telling us how this went down is a man was walking, 33-year-old man was walking along the street here. The suspect came up to him, knocked him to the ground, stabbed him in the head multiple times with what police are calling a cutting instrument, and then reached into his pants pockets and pulled out his money, and then took off running down the street here toward Penn Station. Now, this is the 4th violent attack in the city so far this week, and it's only Wednesday. Go ahead, take a look at this video here. This is what happened on Monday. There were 3 violent attacks on Monday. First of all, there were two in SOHO. A man attacked a woman with a bottle. She ended up being able to fight him off. But then a short time later, the man attacked another woman with a broken bottle. She ended up in the hospital. Those two attacks were random attacks. And then about 2:30 in the morning on Monday, police say a man tried to rape a woman inside the East Broadway subway station. Now, those 4 attacks happening all on Monday. By the way, you can come back to me live now. They are still looking for the suspect in this latest attack. They described him as wearing a black hooded sweatshirt and a black hat.
And finally, we leave the city for Long Island, where a 15-year-old boy was arrested after police said he fatally stabbed his grandmother.
So I have Jody Goldberg live in Central Islip, where he just appeared in court. Jody.
Natasha and Steve, he also allegedly stabbed his mom inside the courtroom. He had on a white Tyvek-like jumpsuit. He was quiet as prosecutors detailed the events that unfolded inside the house. Take a look at this video. It happened on Old Town Road in Selden last night around 10 o'clock. And prosecutors inside the courtroom said the 15-year-old who was acting out, missing school, and barricading himself in his room ultimately charged at his mom and grandmother after they threatened to take away his computer for his behavior. Now, he allegedly grabbed a kitchen knife before stabbing his mom, 36-year-old Vanessa Chandemi. Prosecutors say when she pretended to be dead, he fatally stabbed his grandmother, 56-year-old Conchetta Chandemi. The mom, who prosecutors say her pleas for help, eventually called police and ran outside to flag down a Good Samaritan. She was taken to the hospital for stab wounds to her arm and neck. We're told she was also stabbed on her face and she can't see out of her left eye. Canine units arrested the teen around the corner. Prosecutors say he was covered in blood and 2 knives were recovered. Now, inside the courtroom, the mom's sister, who was visibly distraught, blurted out she was there to support the teen. While she didn't speak to reporters, his attorney said there's a lot to hash out.
The only thing I'm going to say, this is a 15-year-old child here, okay? And he is presumed innocent. We have a presumption of innocence in America that still holds strong. So I want everybody to remember that. And other than that, I have no comment right now, okay? Thank you.
He stabbed his grandmother to death and stabbed his mother. She's at a local hospital and she's expected to survive. He was charged with murder, 2nd degree, for his grandmother and attempted murder for stabbing his mother.
Now, the teen, who will be tried as an adult, faces a max sentence of life in prison if convicted. He's due back in court later on this week, and he's being held without bail.
That's this week's Crime in the City. Subscribe for more at youtube.com/Fox5NY.